Hello everyone, this is Wasif. I just had a great idea about the vlog. I want to make a video about this subject matter. A lot of people, uh, especially in this economy, pandemic, all that stuff, are trying to get into their own business. And I mean, you don't have a job. Your employer lays you off. You're at the mercy of the employer. And they're at the mercy of their business. So let's say you are in a business of tourism, like hotels, clubs, bars, restaurants. All those businesses are suffering really good, means really bad right now. They are really in trouble, and they're laying off their employees. So all those people who used to work good jobs, made a lot of money, commission, tips, and stuff like that. They're no longer able to sustain that income. So certain businesses are doing very well, like online business, like Amazon, eBay. Online retailers are doing very well right now, and I am in one of those positions. So I mean, I left my job right before the pandemic started in August of 2019, and of course we started hearing about the pandemic in as early as February and March. So anyway, so it started affecting the businesses a lot since March, and a lot of people are just don't know what to do with it. My recommendation would be to start your own business. It's not that hard. You do have to understand the concept of it. So I mean, of course, there's always room for more people. It's not like I can only do so much as a person, and of course, in order to grow, I have to hire more people. But you have to get to that stage. Now, you might be happy with the way a one person business runs, and I've been happy with the way it is. My overhead is really low. I don't have, I run my business out of my home, so I don't have a rent payment or mortgage on a business that I have to make a payment on. So that overhead, which is like the payment, the electricity bill, all the stuff, that expenses that you have a business, I don't have that. So I don't have to generate uh, that extra money to sustain my business. Now, a lot of people find out that it's easier to start with a product that they like, they understand. I mean, that's where you should always start. But there's always new product that you can learn. It means mainly self-educating yourself about the products that you don't know. I generally start with new business ideas. I never really follow what anybody around me is doing because it creates a niche market for me that I'm the only one for go-to person. And best advertisement I found is word of mouth. Like, you make a product that other people see and they like, and then they ask uh, whose product is that, and then uh, basically they reach out to you. So that is the best way to do the business. Now you can make a product and try to spend a lot of money advertising it, but that is not what you want to do. I tried advertising my product. Let's say for first, I was like doing the security cameras. So the way I started it is, this business was like anybody else. I was looking for a job. That's back in 2002. I was looking for a job, and I did not. I was laid off my Intel job, and I had no. Uh, I didn't have any job, so I was looking for it. I found out this security firm or the security camera firm needed some salesperson, and I had at that point no sales experience. So I was looking for a job, but they were interviewing me for my qualification. Instead, I started asking them questions, and I interviewed them about their business. And there were a bunch of engineers running a security firm, and they needed somebody to sell their product to other people, and that's what they were looking for. So I asked them how much they charge, and they were expensive, very expensive. So if I even got hired, it would be very hard because uh, there was a huge markup on the products they were selling. So anyway, didn't get a job. So I said, okay, well, this is something I can do and make money on it, because I do know a lot of people in businesses like 7-Eleven and small convenience stores that don't want to spend a lot of money, and they could definitely benefit from my services. So I started learning about the cameras. I ordered a whole bunch of cameras online and I played with them. I had no idea about the cameras at that point, and I learned about time lapse VCRs. At the time, that was the thing. And then I ran into DVRs for the computers and stuff like that. So research, a lot of experimentation, find out what works, what doesn't work, made a product, sold it to one of my associates that I knew for a very good price. And he had a lot of people he knew. So a lot of other store owners visited his store, and he was basically selling my product because he was so happy with the price and the product. So he told other people that, well, this is the product, and he got it from me. He gave my number to them, and I didn't have to do anything. So then the other people reach out to me and they ask me, can they do the same for, can I do the same for them? And I said, sure. And I started doing that. Was growing, but of course I wasn't traveling out of state, so there's a limited market for it. But nevertheless, I was able to start a business from scratch and made a successful business, and I was earning good money out of that. But it wasn't the volume. The volume lacked, but I didn't care about the volume because I had a job at that point. I was working, so I didn't care, and I did it for almost 10 plus years like that, side business, and it was nice. And I tried to grow by renting a location, but I mean that was I wasn't able to reach that volume. So here's the thing: like, you can have a great product, but there's not enough demand on it. At least not in your area. You're gonna have to travel, and there are also big retailers that wanted to deal with bigger firms because they, like for example, Safe Analyst, so they get hundreds of cameras installed, and they don't want to deal with one person who just deals with one store. They want to do all their stores, so they want a big firm to do it, because then they're protected better, because the installers have insurance and they can get, buying so many cameras and all the stuff. They get better deals, and it's bid contract and stuff like that. That is very hard to get into for especially a new business like I was. So that is where I learned that that is not the right business to sustain. I mean, I can do it on the side, but it's not really something I want to continue on doing and making uh, full time living out of it. So then I also started eBay. At the same time, I was doing the eBay reselling business, and what I was doing with that is, of course, these are not something I was trained in school or college. When I went to college, I learned engineering stuff. I did computer engineering, but I never really learned about sales or finance or anything like that. None of that wasn't part of my curriculum. My This is something that I've had always had in me, a sense of money, understanding the concept, how it works, and so when I realized that security camera things, at that time I was starting, but this is something I did even before that. So anyway, I was buying stuff from any place like Goodwill, Craigslist, stuff like that. I don't think the Craigslist was there at that time in 2002. So I was buying stuff from Fry's Electronics and electronic stores, Goodwill, and then basically selling them on eBay. And that was a good business idea. A lot of work. It wasn't, but I was selling for maybe 10%, 15% profit. And so for that reason, it wasn't really very sustainable. But I found occasionally I found some deals from Goodwill. Like for example, I found a projector that had a LCD projector. At that time were expensive. They were not flooded with Chinese projectors, and people. It wasn't that widely available anyway. So I found a projector what broken lens. So I bought it for $200, fixed the lens, sold it for 450 to a teacher somewhere uh, in US who bought that, and I basically shipped it to them, and that's how. Uh, I mean, that was a good turn and flip. Um, but not everything was like that. Like I said, most of my stuff, like from Fry's Electronics, were really little margin, a lot of work, but less risky because I was selling new products from Fry's, buying new, selling it because they had so many items at Doorbuster. So anyway, I tried that. When I realized it wasn't good, I applied for a job at Fry's and worked there for 10 years. They paid very well. I was surprised that, and it was easy too because I didn't have to do all the hard work like research or anything like that. Once you find the product, they had very good customer base that came in, and I sold them the stuff that I knew was a good value. Always pushed for good value. I never pushed for, of course, uh, items that I knew they would not be happy with. So something I would want, that's what I sold. And a lot of people didn't realize that I was like really selling a lot of refurbished stuff, which I saw a lot of value in. And it was pretty easy to, somebody came for a new laptop, I would sell them refurbished laptop and sell them with a protection plan and still save them money. And they were happy. I was happy. Everything was good. So that's what you want to do. You want to have uh, you want to understand where the demand is, and then you want to, provide that, supply that area. So I've been flipping a lot of things recently, and I mean, like, I supplement my income. So it's not like if my job, or I've been in commission sales for many many years. So when my commission sales were not doing very well, I had ways to supplement. That could include the mining, that could include flipping items, that could include my security camera business. Whatever I need to do, I supplemented my income. So I wasn't never in financial crunch. That shows up on my credit history. If you look at I've never been late on my payments. I've never had the problem of not having money to make a payment on anything. Never, ever. Lost my job, changed my job, quit my job, doesn't matter. Always, always able to do that. And that's one of the reasons why, because I never sit around and, wait for some other job to lay around in my lap. It's never been my what you call thinking. So anyway, where I was going with it is like, so you find a product. Let's say you have something like the seasonal things too. Like, for example, in summers you can sell air conditioners, and you can get them really cheap in winter time. So I've done that. I bought air conditioners and I've sold them in summer. Hottest day of the summer, people don't even ask the question. They just want that because they don't want to deal with heat. So they just need they just get the air conditioner, and they basically pay good price for it. So you buy it, you hold it, and you sell it, and when the time is right. Same is true for, like, say right now there's a lot of demand on video cards, so you can sell the video cards very easily, very quickly. A lot of people are looking for it because of mining, or because there's a shortage in the market right now for video cards. So if you have a video card, sell it. But this is the time for, and no, there's nobody doing favors to you by buying your product, because there's a demand for it, and you are able to supply the product. That's it. You're just selling it. It's not like you're just able to meet the demand by supplying the product. That's pretty much the whole idea of the business is. So all right, so my point is that you find the market where you really can excel. You can find a product. Now sometimes you have to add on a product to make your product more valuable. You can make a package. That is something you have to do. let's say for my security cameras, the cameras were not enough. uh, I had to have the recording device, from the time-lapse VCR to, I had to have a DVR, which was a computer-based card that recorded on the hard drive. And then that wasn't enough either. I had to have a cash register interface, which is point of sale interface, which recorded the transaction. So that means if a cashier rings $2 items, they could see and verify that is what he's selling. So they were concerned about employee theft. So that was very important to this to the convenience store owners, that they wanted to know that employees not stealing from them, because sometimes a customer or friend would come in and they will buy $50 worth of stuff and they will only bring $5 worth of stuff. So that is, they wanted to catch that. Or if they're getting $100 bill, or if they're getting $40, they're only putting $20 in the register, they wanted to catch that too. So that is basically the reason why they wanted to invest in the security camera. And there was a lot of demand for it. And of course, at that point when I was doing it, I was doing it for less than half of what my competition was doing. Okay, so that was really the motivation, that, oh yeah, this guy is providing us with a product that is very high, very discounted price, and it's basically a good product. And I made sure that I use quality components. I also used instead of using the what you call these set-top box that you can't really do anything, I was using a full-fledged computers that can be easily repaired, and they were not designed to just run for a year or two and then fail, and then you will have to reinvest on into a new computer, new set-top box, stuff like that. Could be very expensive, and you just can't fix those things if they fail. At least not cheaply. You can try see if the warranty, but most of them didn't have the warranty more than 1 year. So some of my computer-based systems were running for 10-15 years and they did not have any problem. Of course, the power supply failed, but those parts are modular and they're easy to replace. And that's a hard drive crash. That's also easy to fix. You replace the hard drive. Any computer tech can do that. So my product was great. One-time cost was low, and also long-term investment was really low too. So, and of course, you could do all those features. The software was good. You can watch from home and all that. So my point is that this is just my idea of the product. You can find your own product. You don't have to do what I'm doing. You can find, some people make jewelry and they sell it online. Some people sell books. Some people sell games. Some people do just computer hardware. And you can find a vendor that can provide to you for better wholesale prices, and then you can sell a retail, which is there will be a little markup, not as much as what I was doing, but it's still, markup is markup. And if you don't want to do that, you can go to Goodwill, look for products that you know that are valuable, and pick only those things up. Some people deal with shoes, clothing. I never touch those things, but I am only interested in electronics because I know electronics, computers, stereos, radios, a lot of gadgets that I understand very well. I know the value of them, so I don't have to literally take my phone out and check everything, but I still do. But I know the stuff, so I know where the value lies. And out of so many people, I can pick stuff that is more valuable than they can pick up, and I don't have to really search every single thing. The way I operate is I go in the store, I pick up the things that are valuable, put in my cart. At the end, I check all the items, the value, and if they're valuable, I purchase. Otherwise, I put it back. That is my strategy in doing that. And then when I come home, I test them. Because you can't test them at the location, I test them, and then I take pictures and I list them. Now, of course, sometimes you get delayed by there's some issues. That's something I'm working on. So I don't have a big warehouse or anything like that. So I have to work around it, and I can't pick up really big stuff. And even though it might be more valuable, but stick with smaller stuff. That's what I am been doing. I've sold quite a few things. I've sold printers, I've sold computers, and I've sold a lot of hardware, video cards, batteries. I mean, you name it. I've been selling quite a bit of stuff. And the reason why I can do this is just because of I don't have any problem learning. Of course, I don't know everything, but in order to grow my business, I can learn and I can scale this business higher than what my previous ideas were. Okay. And when I was doing mining, which was based on uh, computer video cards, I went as far as running 60 GPUs. GPUs are graphic cards or processors that you have in your computer that perform the transaction verification of blockchain. And I had 60 GPUs at one point, and I had more than 60 ASICs too. ASICs are application specific integrated circuits. They are really doing the same thing, but they're only doing that. They're not capable of doing anything but Bitcoin mining. At that point, I was only mining Bitcoins with the ASICs. But of course, in any market, when you have a lot of demand and it takes time to create the supply, and when the supply grows too much, then of course the demands die down and the profitability goes down. I mean, there are a lot of things, and eventually the mining became unprofitable or was not profitable enough to justify doing it. So I stopped doing the mining. I still had all the equipment, I still have, and when the mining became profitable, I started it again, and I shut down when it didn't. So some people just keep running it, and then eventually they had to stop because they were broke. I never really did it that way. I did it only based on the profitability at the time because I was cashing in whatever I was mining. So that's how I ran my business. I am going to change my strategy now because I'm mining again, and I want to run it on the side. I don't want to do anything with it. But can I scale it? To a certain extent. It's not something that is scalable as a retail business. So my recommendation to all of you is start doing something beside your 9 to 5 job or 9 to 11 job, whatever the job is that you're doing right now. Or if you are just unemployed, you should focus on finding a product that you understand. I mean, whatever you understand, could be clothing, could be shoes, could be anything, and just look for the deals on those products. I mean, what you generally do for your own self, find it for more than what you need, and then basically keep the one you want and sell the rest to other people and see how it works. I mean, you can set your budget for $100 to $1,000, doesn't matter. Whatever your budget is, to learn how this will work. And if you can double your money in a month, then you have succeeded. So if you put $100 and you made $200 at the end of the month, that is good. And I'm giving you a lot of time in that sense that you don't have to have very high goals. Start with low. I mean, if you set your goals too high, you're going to overwhelm yourself and you're not going to be able to go through with just keep it fun. Just keep it fun. Start with something small. Get something that you understand, and then list it and see how it goes. And if you sell it, make profit, then reinvest that money to get more stuff. So you will never exceed your budget. So if you had $1,000 budget, you make $2,000 out of it, then you reinvest that $2,000 into more products, and then you keep growing your business from there. So your risk factor is really still what your initial budget was. So if you lose everything in 6 months from now, you only lost what you initially started. So you really, and that's not going to happen with the retail business because there's always value. But unless you're really, um, you make a really bad, so you make a really bad decision and you invest in a product that you didn't do research and you didn't see the demand, and you you know, buy into a scam or something broken or something. And so stick with the smaller items. Stick with what you understand. Keep your risk to minimal. Don't overstretch yourself. Just because you're selling doesn't mean that you can afford to have a big warehouse. Don't do that. Don't overstretch your budget. So keep those things in mind, and you can grow. You can do this, and it's a lot easier than working for employment. Once you figure out the formula for running your own business, I mean, from there on, you can, if you think you need help and you're able to generate, like, let's say, I wouldn't hire anybody until you are reaching like 10,000 plus in sales a month. So you can hire some people to list your items, but of course you have to remember that that's an overhead. If you rent a warehouse, that's overhead. If you pay for electricity, that's overhead. So anything you have um, um, expenses wise, you have to subtract from your total profit. So $10,000 sale doesn't mean you're making $10,000. Your profit is the cost of good minus the shipping, minus the fees, all that stuff, and that's what your income is. So in order to make $10,000 profit, you would have to sell probably 20, maybe $30,000 worth of stuff after taking all the fees into consideration, or you find really good deals on something and you only focus on those high profit products, which is can happen, but it's not always going to happen. You're going to have to sell things that don't have the same profit margin, but you will have to make up for the volume. So you sell more of those products, and you will earn continuous income with that. But you have to make sure you have the product to have a $20,000-$30,000 a month sale. I have not reached that level, so I'm not sure what to say. I'm in between 5 to 10,000 a month sales level, and I can grow, but I have to list more items, more desirable items, more items that most people want right now. Focus on those things. In my area of expertise, of course, I don't want to go into clothing because I have no idea about clothing. I don't understand shoes. I don't understand a lot of things that other people like. I've seen people sell stuff like recycle, construction stuff, wood. You can literally flip anything when there's a demand for it. So yeah, that's my few minutes of advice. Hopefully it will help you. Don't be afraid of doing this. It's not that hard. A lot of people are doing this and they're very successful. You can be comfortable working 9 to 5 job, but remember, you are still in an industry where they hire you because you are able to provide a service to sell their product. So you're not there because you are just getting a check. You have responsibilities, and the problem with that setup is that they never really will reward you as much as you can make when you're working for yourself. You always gonna have a cap on you. So if you're in sales, there's always going to be a cap. The moment you start making more than your manager, then they try to find out either putting you into management position or something where they don't have to pay you as much, and it still can use your services. So they are trying to cap you because you are expense to them. So when you are in sales, if you make too much, you're more expensive, so they can hire two new guys instead of you, and hopefully sell as much as the um, or more as you can sell. And so you really don't have any control over that. You're not the boss, you just work. When you're working for yourself, you also retain your customers. They're your customers. But when you're working for somebody else, they're not your customers, they're the customers of the business that you are working for. So you can't really take them with you. I mean, some people do, but that's wrong, and that could get you in trouble. But my point is, when you are growing your own business, you can really have no cap. You can literally go as much as you want to. So you can sell 100,000 in a month in sales. You can do that. Of course, you're going to need more people, warehouse. Main thing would be the product that you want to focus on. And with now you can also make more margin. So you don't have to sell. If you have only 10% margin on $100,000 product, you're still only profiting $10,000 by selling $100,000 in product. So you have to realize that you don't have to sell that much product to have the higher income. So you can sell $10,000 or $20,000 worth of items, and you could have high margin, like 50% profit margin, and you can make $10,000 with just selling $20,000 worth of stuff. So it's just a matter of where you're sourcing your items from. Generally speaking, you want to source items from the least expensive source. You don't want to go buy, from retail stores like I have done in the past, and then sell it to online retail store. At that time, Fry's wasn't good in online sales. They didn't have a website. There was a dispute with their some local business that they couldn't get that website. Anyway, they didn't have the online visibility, and I did through eBay. So I was able to do that. But you can only do that so long. What you want to focus on is something that you can source without any problems, like Goodwill. But of course, you're not going to find multiple items of the same kind. You'll be finding the few of the items. You just have to basically add more merchandise to your inventory to be able to sustain your business sales. So it's hard. It's hard. I mean, even for the people who have done this for a while, and you should be able to sell stuff without any issues. Just at one point it runs. I mean, you have to discipline yourself to go every day finding products and then listing them. It's kind of like a job. You can take days off, but it will affect your sales. I generally try to focus on few items and then learn from the sales experience. Like, once I sell a new item, I know more about it than I ever did. So if I find something, even though I understand the product, I still don't want to make mistakes as far as listing them. And definitely don't want to sell it for less than what they're worth. So I want to make sure that I'm searching before I list anything, how much it is going for, and I make sure that I have everything figured out, and I take all the pictures and all the stuff and make sure my prices are right. So people, look at the product and they see my price is better than the other guy, and then they buy it. That's one way of getting the business. Also, I have good reputation. My feedbacks are good. And I do fast shipping. I describe the product honestly, so I don't have any issues later on with the buyer coming back and saying, well, this product has this wrong with it. So testing, selling, all that stuff requires a discipline. It takes time. If you have a $500 product in your hand, that you got for $250 and you spend an hour testing it out or fixing it, it's definitely worth it. And that's what you want to do. So I mean, it's not that easy. If you're not skilled with repairing stuff like that, that might not be for you. But you might want to find something that you don't need to repair, that is working. Sometimes you can just check it, and you can see if a product that you know just by looking at it is working. You don't even have to test it at all. So anyway, that was my 2 cents. Please enjoy my little video, and hopefully you learned something from it today. And if you like what I said, please share, subscribe, and like my video. Thank you. Bye.